Hello students, today I will teach you metallurgy of copper. Metallurgy means extraction of metal from their ore, that is called as metallurgy. Occurrence of metal, that is native or free state, minerals, ores, and the general methods for extraction, that is crushing and grinding. Second is the concentration, maybe by levitation, growth floating method, magnetic separation, and leaching method. Extraction of metal from ore, conversion of ore in metal oxide, that is convert the ore into their oxide form. It may be by roasting or calcination. And the next is conversion of the oxide form of the metal into metallic form, that is the reduction. So it may be by smelting method or reduction by hydrogen or aluminum or electrolytic reduction and auto reduction. Purification methods, liquefaction method, distillation, coaling, cupellation, electro refining, and zone refining. Now, occurrence of copper. So copper is found in combined as well as in free state. The main ores of copper, that is copper pyrite, copper glance, malachite green, azurite blue, bornite, and malaconite. These are the main ores of copper. The steps which are used for the extraction of copper. In the extraction of copper, generally use the copper pyrite ore, through which the following steps takes place. So the ore generally we use, that is copper pyrite, CuFeS2. And the steps which are used for this extraction: first is concentration, second roasting, third smelting, fourth mesmerization, and sixth is refining. First is the concentration of ore. As we have taken the ore copper pyrite, CuFeS2, it is sulfide ore. So the concentration of ore can be done by froth floating method. In the froth floating method, the crushed ore, it is suspended in water and containing amount of the oil, and air is passed through the suspension. So the particles get wetted by oil and they float at the surface and they form a froth with skimmed, and the gangue particles they sinks to the bottom. Concentration of ore by froth flotation method. We add the powdered ore, oil and water and pass the air through which froth is formed, and the ore they form a upper layer and then stick into the foam, and the impurities that form or that settle down, and the foam that contains ore particles, so it can be separated out. Thus, reactions which are involved in oxidation method, that is roasting, copper pyrite ore that oxidized in presence of excess of air, and this reaction takes place in reverberatory furnace, and during heating the temperature is kept below the melting point of the ore, and during the roasting process the changes takes place. The first is that moisture is expelled. During oxidation moisture is expelled, and the impurities such like sulfur, arsenic, antimony, they are expelled as they are volatile oxides. They convert and they form the oxides. Sulfur dioxide, arsenic oxide, antimony oxides. And the third step which takes place in roasting, that is copper pyrite ore is converted to ferrous sulfide and cuprous sulfide. That is copper pyrite converted to ferrous sulfide and cuprous sulfide. This reaction. In this reaction, copper pyrite ore is oxidized and converts into ferrous sulfide and cuprous sulfide. Smelting process. In the smelting process, a reduction takes place. Here is the diagram of this furnace. Hot air is passed to the stirrers, and that is the 2 number that is shown, that is melting zone, and 3 and 4, these are the reduction zone, and 5, that is the preheating zone. It is ore silica and coke. Here we pass the ore silica and coke. Exhaust air, and that is 8 number that is showing column of ore silica and coke, and removal of air of slag that is showing in line number, and molten metal that is collected, and molten metal that is collected at the lower portion, and collection of the waste gases here. Process of smelting. So during smelting, mixture of ore, powdered coke and sand that is heated in blast furnace. So in this process, mainly two changes takes place. First is the oxidation of ferrous sulfide takes place, and ferrous oxide is formed, and this ferrous oxide combines with silica to form slag. In this reaction, during the roasting, this ferrous oxide, it reacts with SiO2, that is silica or flax, and it forms the slag. So this SiO2 is the flux and FeO the impurities, and it forms this slag. And the second step in the smelting, that is this cuprous oxide, which is formed as a result of oxidation. It's partially converted back into cuprous oxide, and this cuprous oxide reacts with ferrous sulfide and converted back into cuprous sulfide. So from the base of the blast furnace, the molten mass, that is called matte, molten matte, is removed. And what is molten matte? That is nothing but cuprous sulfide Cu2S containing some ferrous sulfide, that is called as the matte. So during the smelting process, we obtain the matte, that is a mixture of cuprous sulfide and ferrous sulfide. Next is the bessemerization process. In this process, the matte is transferred to Bessemer converter. It is the Bessemer converter. The matte is transferred into this Bessemer converter. Matte means cuprous sulfide and ferrous sulfide. This Bessemer converter is the pear-shaped structure furnace, and it is lined from outside with silica. And here are some pipes fitted to wires here, through which air can be fast, and this furnace can be tilted so that it can be emptied and the mass poured out when the process is over. It means फर्नेस को टिल्ट भी कर सकते हैं, जिससे क्या होगा कि जब रिएक्शन कंप्लीट हो गई है, so the mass poured out when the process is over, and the mass blast of hot air and silica is blown through molten matte. So this copper metal is extracted from molten matte through vaporization, and this matte is introduced to vesicle converter, and it converts cuprous sulfide partially into cuprous oxide, and which reacts with the remaining copper sulfide, and they give the molten copper. Is the reaction cuprous sulfide, cuprous oxide, and again it reacts with the cuprous sulfide. So we obtain the copper. Next is the refining of copper. Refining of copper, that is by electrolysis, and the metal which is obtained during decimerization process, that is called as blister copper. इसको blister copper क्यों कहते हैं? क्योंकि जैसे रिएक्शन कंप्लीट होती है और जब इसको कूल ठंडा किया जाता है, तो ठंडा करने से क्या होता है, सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड गैस विच इज डिसॉल्व्ड, इट कम्स आउट, सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड गैस बाहर आती है in the forms of bubbles, so it gives the shape of blister to the surface of the copper, due to which it is called as the blister copper. So we obtain copper, that is blister copper. फिर इसके बाद purification. So purification may be done by Pauling method or electrolytic method. In the electrolytic method, this blister copper is purified by the electrolysis. So in this blister copper used as a anode, and the thin sheets of the pure copper act as cathode, and the cathode plates are coated with graphite. The electrolyte, that is the copper sulfate, and this contains little amount of the sulfuric acid. The reason of adding sulfuric acid is to increase the electrical conductivity. So during electrolysis, the crud copper so obtained, that is about 95% pure. In this, the impure copper, that is made anode, and a thin strip of pure copper, that is made of cathode. So in this diagram we can see that impure copper is made anode. This is impure copper made of anode. A is representing anode, and a thin strip of the pure copper that is taken. Thin strip of the pure copper is taken, and the electrolyte, that is the copper sulfate, and at the anode oxidation takes place, and at the cathode reduction takes place. And during the electrolysis, anode starts dissolving due to oxidation of copper, whereas cathode becomes thicker due to deposition of copper. And the more electropositive impurities dissolve in the solution, while the less electropositive impurities, they fall under anode as anode mud. So it forms the anode mud. So these are the various methods of purification. That is the summary of the topic. First is the occurrence of metal. Second is the general principles of extraction. Third is the concentration. Fourth is roasting. Next is smelting, and then vaporization, and last one is the refining method. And this copper, there are also some uses of the copper. It can be used, copper, for making utensils, and copper is alloyed with gold and silver for making ornaments, and it is used for making electric cables and other electric appliances.